Welcome to the Kennel Podcast, and can you believe we are on episode 40? It's been a wonderful journey so far, just sharing our thoughts and talking footy with you guys, and we have so much more to come. We're not going anywhere. If you enjoy our content, you like listening to us, talk a little bit of crap about footy, talk about the doggies, talk about the dragons, please be sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video. We have a lot of stuff coming up, and we look forward to having you along for the ride. Welcome, Dibbo, episode 40.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey so far. Just trying to avoid the camera at the moment after last week's drubbing. As you can see, the jersey's been put away as well.
38-0, brother. What happened there, mate?
It just got worse and worse. I mean, I'm sure they're 1 from 2 coming back from Queensland. I'm sure a lot of sides will be satisfied, but 38-0.
It's a big turnaround, man.
They're worse off than some sides that haven't won a game yet. Like, honestly, that is a massive turnaround. Like, they just regress. Like, some of the sides that are winless showed massive improvement over the weekend and quite unlucky not to win. So, if anything, they're in a better position than a 38-0 drubbing.
Yeah, look, I mean, and considering the fact that the Dolphins themselves got smashed by the Cowboys the week before, for them to turn that around and come back and defeat the Dragons so convincingly is just like, well, okay, where did that attacking flair go that you guys had in the first week against the Titans?
One side got cocky, went to sleep, and the other side's okay, we got a lot of work
to do. Yeah,
got
to kick up the arse. And
it's like about a 70-point turnaround or something.
Yeah, something like that's crazy.
Yeah, but let's have a yarn about the Dogs. It's not all doom and gloom. Actually quite impressed me on the weekend. They were quite unlucky not to be up by 2 tries at halftime, I thought. I just thought they got dudded by some refereeing decisions that didn't go their way. I mean, Cronulla were getting those calls, whereas Canterbury wasn't. And there was that harsh call, obviously, with the ref getting in the way of the player who I thought still had ample time to make that tackle front on, but chose just to stand on the side and milk it for all it's worth.
Look, I think you could have had Andre the Giant defending, and they weren't going to stop Viliami Kikau from scoring that try.
Yeah, he didn't put his body in front of him. It's obvious.
I mean, Kikau, and look, I'm going to get it right out there. First week, people were like, Burton needs to play better. Kikau needs to play better. Let me tell you something. Kikau absolutely showed why he's worth the money that we paid for him. He had an absolute blinder, both in attack and in defense. And look, if we get that out of him, week in, week out, this is what he's going to become our forward leader. He'll become the leader of the pack, the aggressor, the one who takes the line up, who takes the line on, who runs. Look, he played out of his skin. And I think, he deserved that try.
I think the Canterbury side in general, a lot of the players showed aggression.
A lot of aggression.
Missed last week. I mean, look, to me, you guys still have a depleted forward stock, but, man, like, you guys really surprised me. I know the score flattered the Dogs 24-6. Obviously, the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Flattered the Dogs or flattered the Sharks?
Flattered the Sharks, sorry. My apologies. Obviously, the Sharks were made to look better. The scoreline made them look better than what they actually were. And they got obviously some hot hometown decisions, I thought.
Oh, 100%. Oh, it was ridiculous. Look, let me tell you, I think, the aggression that I saw, not only from, seeing Burton run the ball a lot more and looked very dangerous, had a line break that he can convert into a try. I thought his running was more consistent.
Yes.
And he looked dangerous. Every time he touched the ball, he looked dangerous. Kikau running hard. I thought Marnie showed a lot of aggression.
Your centers picked it up from last week. They were starved of the ball, but not this week.
Oh, mate, they were doing very well. I think, what is... And we've spoken about this on the off-season. We've spoken about this last year, and everybody's spoken about this ad nauseum. But our lack of forwards was so clear to see throughout that whole game, especially after losing Pauasa Famasuli in the first minute.
It's a bad rotation.
Look, I don't just think it's a bad rotation. I think that, the aggression that we tried to play with for, the first 60 to 70 minutes without a proper forward pack that can absorb some of the impact from their massive forward pack, we were always going to struggle in that last 10 minutes. I know hindsight is 20/20, but all I'm trying to say is that had we even had one more decent forward, I actually think that the score doesn't get so bad. And if the ref,
I think it's a win.
And if the ref allows that try in, that was clearly a try that was disallowed for absolutely no reason whatsoever, we'd at least only maybe lose by a try.
Well, Mulatalo had a lucky, he knocked that ball on. But
how was that? That's
he's got lucky. That's all.
He knocked it on into his leg,
just
and then he scores.
How much he actually did flatter the Sharks. So
it was, I'm not in any way upset about that performance. I know the last 10 minutes could have been
I
better.
thought it was a really positive performance. Like I said, Canterbury really impressed me. So I just thought,
and we're going to be so much better for it.
I just thought, like I touched on last week, how there were 4 rotations. But like Sam Hughes only 20 minutes. Like I like to see him get more game time this week. I know Liam Knight's in the starting side. I mean, I can hope for his sake he really shows some improvement, because I don't quite agree with him in the starting side, but they are short on forward stocks.
Look, the thing is, sometimes I feel like I want to back Seraldo to the hills. That's the thing. I do. But sometimes it really boggles my mind. Like, we were already missing Pawasa because, he got concussed and he was out.
Yeah, that was.
And so you'd think Sam Hughes and Curtis Moran would play more minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Well, Sam Hughes got 24 minutes and Curtis Moran got 22.
I liked it. Sam Hughes, I thought, should have probably got about double 40 minutes, I thought.
And, everyone says he's the fittest in the in our club. He works hard on his fitness. He's a good, he's a cover. You need to give him
that game time.
You need to have trust in him.
I know they're trying to ease him in, but you also got Harrison Edwards in there as well. You got Kirioni Katonga. I haven't pronounced that right. I thought he's not in the side this week. I'd love to see him in the side.
No, he's not. So the only change in this week's team, just quickly, is Liam Knight has come in for the injured Pawasa.
Yeah.
Everything else stays the same.
But if we go off last week's performance, I'm actually feeling good for the Canterbury Bulldogs this week. They got the Gold Coast Titans, and I think Canterbury can get that win, especially being at home at Belmore. I know the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis in that back line really want to, rack up some tries. So I'm expecting a try fest, to be honest. If Canterbury can defend well, they can probably, knock up a decent margin against the Gold Coast, similar to what the Dragons did as well in round 1.
Look, you mentioned the defense, and I think one thing that we've shown is that we have at least the grit and the tenacity in defense to aim up as a team, which is what we did not have last year whatsoever.
I think these first 2 rounds, especially how they were starved of that ball in the first round, there has been massive improvement in that defense in the first 2 rounds. I think they can do another good job against the Gold Coast as well. That's one area that looks like they've worked on, so the results will start coming. So hopefully they can also jag a few early season signings. There's some clubs that are looking to offload. Did you guys end up getting Momasia, whatever his name is?
Momasia, that hasn't been announced. I think probably.
I think he's just deserving of a crack at first grade. So I think he's got the ability to play first grade this year and probably very soon.
I mean, he's been playing first grade for the last 3 to 4 years on and off. So potentially, we need him. But the truth is, look, our attack is still an issue. Right?
It'll start gelling.
Look, I agree with you, and I think that I've said this multiple times. I think you've got to pick the team and stick with it.
I think your back 5 or back 6 or 7 are going to feast on tries this week. I can see plenty of tries through the back line.
We did.
I'm sure Crichton's ready. He wants a few. Taff wants a few. Kiraz will want some, and Kate, Wilson will want some as well. So, it's going to come.
Look, I'm a bit conflicted. Yeah, my mantra has always been pick and stick. If you pick a team, stick to it. Let them gel. Yeah, give them time.
That's what I'm saying. I think this week's going to be even another bigger improvement. So it's looking good for that back 5.
I think, I still believe that. What I am questioning, though, and this is just me thinking out loud as a concerned doggy supporter, is that between we've found ourselves in some decent position against the Sharks, and I felt like we couldn't convert, and our 5th tackle options have been too predictable. I don't know if it's a coaching thing or if it's an individual capability thing, but at what point do we start to say maybe there needs to be some changes?
I think, I reckon after 6 rounds, give him another 3 weeks. I think Blake Taft this week's going to have a whale of a game as well. He's going to be linking up with your halves and your backs. He's really got that ability. I think he's going to get even more confident as the season goes on. I know everyone thinks Crichton will end up at the back, but I think Blake's going to have a big game this week.
I don't necessarily think Taff is the issue. I'm sort of looking at our 6 and 7. I thought Burton, I have to say, took the criticism head on and really, really showed a lot of
Yeah,
involvement.
he showed some intensity there. Yeah.
He ran for, I think it was close to 140 meters.
Yeah, he showed some intent. That was good.
I was really, really happy to see that because instead of just, copying it on the chin or whatever, I felt like he wanted to prove the doubt as well. And look, here's the thing.
It was a big turnaround. I'll tell you what. Remember last year when they played Cronulla, when they couldn't get past the 10-metre line?
Yeah.
Massive turnaround.
Massive. And we're missing, a forward, one of our starters.
You guys were on top in that first half, so, yeah.
The team's got the grit. It's just, I don't know if Drew Hutchison is it.
Obviously, we've questioned that before, but it looks like he's got probably another month or another 3 weeks. But in saying that, I've seen some coaches already move. If you look at the other team list this week, they've moved fast.
Yes.
Look, they're the size that are they expect to finish higher up the ladder, but I guess they can afford to probably rest the other guys or throw them back to reserves, just to get their game back on or keep them on their toes. I think Hutchison might be given just probably another few weeks or a month just to, before Toby can, or another half. You got maybe a few young halves coming through that can force their way in. Is that 18-year-old eligible for first grade yet? Is he playing? What's he doing? Is he playing reserves or 20s?
Oh, I think he's playing reserve, but I think it doesn't matter anymore because they don't have the same rule now. If you're outside the top 30, you have to wait till round 11.
What's the ruling now?
They can play.
That is
Needed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And there's no longer the 18-year-old limit, and they scrapped that. Remember? No, hang on a second. You got to be 18 and over? Or?
Yeah, I think you have to be 18.
Oh, that's all right, unless there's special circumstances like Swaliti and all that.
Yeah, but I don't think we need to even dig that deep into it,
Yeah, that's
right?
right. He's 18 anyway.
We've got Toby Sexton.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Who I think could play. But you've mentioned the great point, and I sort of wanted to discuss that a little bit around what the dog is doing. So, for example, the Knights have dropped Jack Hastings.
Isn't he injured, though? Isn't he carrying an injury? I think they're just thinking of giving him a rest.
I think they've dropped him for Cogger.
Yeah, I got a feeling that eventually, I think it's the other guy that needs to go, Tyson Gamble. You know why? He doesn't really have a game management.
The redneck?
Yeah, the guy with all the tats and that.
Yeah,
the guy that, if you see him in the street, you just bash him and everyone will thank you. No, I'm sorry. Honestly, I like watching him. So, anyway.
It's just a dumb joke.
Yeah, it's a dumb joke. I don't think Tyson has he doesn't have that in his game where he organises the side, whereas Hastings does that, and him and Cogger will correlate well together. I think how Cogger last year when he came on in that grand final, he pretty much unlocked Cleary's running game. Well, really, it was probably Isaiah Yeo that when they kicked off Isaiah Yeo, he got out of the way because I always see Isaiah Yeo to an extent another Paul Gallen. He gets in the way, he always wants the ball. And he stifles the attack. Like, you got the whole back line set.
Nah, look, I think Isaiah is a much better attacker than Paul Gallen.
No, but what I'm saying is he always wants the ball and he gets in the way.
Not always. There's a lot of times where he's...
Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, back on point. I think Cogger, he's got a good organisation to his game. And he will unlock the other half, whether it will be Gamble or it will be Hastings. I see Hastings ending back in there.
My only concern with having, for example, a Cogger and Hastings together is that maybe they're too similar. But anyway, I don't.
That's good. They can organise both sides because you know who'll benefit from that.
Ponga.
Thank you.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't really care about the Knights. Right, we're going to smash the Knights.
You're still wait. I know you're still burning from last year. That's 66.
I won't get over that.
I think that's the win you want the most this year.
Honestly, if we win that one game by 50, I'll be happy for the whole year. I won't even care how far we go.
One win, 25 losses.
That's it, bro.
Jeez. Anyway.
And then you look at the Rabbitohs. Right, they've dropped Lachlan Elias for Dean Hawkins.
Dean Hawkins is a very good player.
Look, Dean Hawkins is a very good player, but I think Lachlan Elias isn't given the accolades he deserves for honestly doing so much of the work. Latrell and Walker have been absolutely
lazy.
Poor.
They've been lazy.
All right, these first 2 rounds, I've watched both games.
They've got to take ownership.
And for Jason Demetrio to use
yeah,
whatever, right? Demetrio, sorry, for him to use Lachlan Elias as the scapegoat, for me, I think it's pathetic, and it's showing that Jason Demetrio isn't a first grade coach. And I've had these are my, that I've said that to you before. I don't think
there's nothing wrong with what you said. I just think this is how I look at it. I think Jason, and it's not a bad move. I always thought Dean Hawkins should have been in first grade a while ago. He's absolute gun. He's too good to be playing reserves. But there's a win-win situation here. So Dean Hawkins is good enough to be playing first grade. I reckon he'll excel this week. There's two things that will happen here. Cody and Latrell kick up their ass, take more. They know they have to take more ownership now that Lachlan's out of the way. So I'm expecting them to have a whaler game this week against the Roosters. I am going to tip them against the Roosters as well. And in the other thing, I think Lachlan Ilias knows he can't get comfortable, and I know he'll come back and he'll absolutely excel in reserves, and he'll be back in first grade within a few weeks. I know he'll bounce back.
But I mean, he did that last year when the Dragons were absolutely pouring it on the Rabbitohs, and he hooked him, right? And it seems like he always seems to go at the easiest target, but he's not
dreadful that day.
Yeah, but he's not the problem, right? Cam Murray is too passive a captain, and Jason Demetriou isn't a hard nut to put Cody Walker and Latrell Mitchell in line. Latrell Mitchell, like,
he's probably got a role for Ilias that he's not doing. Like, Ilias should be, he doesn't feel like he's assertive. That's how I see it. I just feel like sometimes he's a passenger there.
Hang on, was Cody Walker even playing on the weekend?
Of course he was, yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see him.
Yeah, I saw him a few times, yeah.
No, Cody Walker's been worse than Lachlan Ilias in the first 2 games.
He's just...
Anyway, point is, the Rabbitohs made a knee-jerk reaction and they've dropped Lachlan Ilias because
he's not gonna drop Cody Walker. You think about it. He's not gonna drop his State of Origin rep. Not this soon, anyway.
Yeah, well, I know,
like he's 34 this year. Maybe halfway through the year, if he continuously doesn't show up to the games, you might then see him. Yeah, but just not this second round.
And then I want to talk about the Tigers, right?
I thought they were going all right towards the end of that first half.
The Tigers' problem is what the Doggies' problem was in 2023, is that they're not defending as a unit.
Yeah, they were away.
If you look at their line, their line was very broken in defense, and that's how they were getting sort of torn up the middle and things like that. But honestly, from what I saw from the Tigers, from their juniors, Lachlan Galvin,
he's only 18. He's a big boy. He'll end up in the forwards.
I think he played very good as a fight. Honestly, he played very, very good at
halfback.
Yeah, I think he played very good.
It's funny. He was playing. I think last year he was playing second row.
And he actually played 6 with Bud Sullivan playing at 7, and he swapped.
Yeah, they swapped.
That's
mad.
And so I think going back to the Bulldogs discussion, right? So the Tigers blooded an 18-year-old with talent, right? Yeah. And the Knights and the Rabbitohs saw that something wasn't working, and they've made some changes because they have options, which is exactly where the Bulldogs are.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
you've got a bit of depth now. Just in the backs, yeah, you do.
Honestly, if we are only averaging 1 try a game, changes need to happen.
That will improve this week. I reckon you guys are going to have a try fest.
I hope to God we do.
I'll be disappointed if you guys don't.
But the truth is that while we have the defense, I'm still not convinced our attack is there.
Oh, it's going to get better.
I agree with you. I think, and I made the point last week about when Cooper Cronk came into the to the Roosters team. Needed a lot of time to gel.
It took about 3 months. You're right. Yeah,
it took a long time. And look, I'm not saying that Hutchison is going to be at the same level as Cronk, but the teams do need time to gel. I think Stephen Crichton looked better last week as opposed to the first week. Looked more involved, attacking better, things like that. Had 100 meters, 100 run meters. Blake Wilson, 160 run meters. Jacob Kiraz, 146. Kiraz looked a lot better last week as well.
I think he'll crack 200 meters this week as well.
Viliami Kikau, 137 meters. I don't think he's hit triple figures with us yet. I think this is the first time he hits triple figures with the Bulldogs.
I think you guys are going to feast this week. I'm quite confident.
It'll be so good just to see us attack better, and I really, really hope our forward rotation is better. You need to give Samuel Hughes 40 minutes. You need to give Curtis Moran at least 30 to 40 minutes, because otherwise Max King just makes too many tackles, doesn't have enough runs. I want to see a better rotation.
Like you look at Gold Coast, they got some big names in that forward pack, but just for some reason it feels soft still. Just missing something.
You think you're missing aggression?
Yeah, I mean, like Tino will give you 200 meters, but
he's the only one.
You got Fafita, and then you got Fodawaker, but it's then I don't know about the rest, but it's not angry, it's not anger out there. It doesn't feel like they give anger. They rack up the stats, but it doesn't feel like they put fear in. Like, all right, Fafita will score your tries, but how much tries does he leak? His defense is quite average. David Fafita.
Speaking about anger, I actually saw some of that anger and aggression in the Doggies against the Sharks. I did see it.
Of course.
I did see it.
And you guys were on top for all that first half, most of it anyway. I can't believe he was only 6-all.
Yeah, I mean, technically should have been 12 all. Graham Annesley did come out today or yesterday and say that
ref's
try,
been dropped, by the
yeah,
way.
Ziggy's been dropped, and that try should have been allowed, and that would have been 12-6.
And I think the other guy's been dropped to sideline duties or something. Anyways.
No, Ziggy was dropped to sideline duty.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. So
Did the video ref get dropped as well?
I'm not sure, but see, that's the thing, right? How does a video ref not pick up on that? How does the video ref not make a call on that?
Well, obviously, it's, I don't know, they must have just advertised like video ref required no experience necessary. That's what happened. Well, that's what it seems to have been happening for about the last 2+ decades,
That's
right?
ridiculous, man. But in any case, overall, I thought it's not panic stations by any margin. I think
Get the win this week.
where the doggies are traveling a lot better than fans would
He's got a
have you
tough.
believe.
Look, he's got a tough first 6
We
weeks.
do have a very tough.
If you guys jag a few wins, it gets easier for you guys, and obviously you guys got more experience and the hardness of playing together.
Look, I think we'll be a lot better come round 8. Much better. Look, I'm tipping this week that the Dogs are going to have a big game.
I'm going to go Dogs on this one, like something like 36-24. It'll be
I
a
don't
10
think-
try game or 12, 11 try game.
I don't think they'll put 24 against us. Oh wait, the foreign comes back. Foreign comes
I
back.
mean, they might use. I mean, if you guys got the game done and dusted, you might concede a few late ones. But I'm just thinking it'd be a high scoring game. They got some speed men as well. They got some attackers.
Jaden Campbell's still out, but that Kinney, whatever his name is. in the back, is
and then
still-
you got the wingers.
Oh yeah, Alofi, Khan Pereira,
Yeah.
and who's the other one on the other side? Is that Brian Kelly?
Yeah, Kelly goes good, and then you got the Hound. What's his name?
AJ Brimson.
No,
Philip Sami.
Philip Sami goes good. Jojo Fafita's not back yet.
No, neither is
Brinson moves well.
Brinson
They'll score a
does
few tries. I'll be surprised if they don't score 3 or 4 tries. But I think you guys will rack up good tries. I think you guys will get minimum 5 or 6 tries, minimum.
I'm saying Dogs by 12.
Yeah, that's what I've gone with. I think it'll be nothing wrong with conceding 24 points. It's only 4 tries.
I think that we wouldn't want to concede
Obviously
more
not.
than 12.
But I think you guys will be happy with the win. So let's get hopefully they get the attack right this week. So I think Blake Taff will have a big game. I'm hoping expecting more from Jacob Preston this week. I think he's just been...
He's been a tackle machine.
Yeah, I think I want to see more from him in attack. I think he's prime now. It's round 3. I'm expecting a step up from him. I think Kikau will have a day out as well. So
against the Sharks, Jacob Preston made 41 tackles.
yeah, that's probably 10 too many, but
Yeah.
it is.
And
what was his run meters? About
56.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see more in attack. That's what I was alluding to.
Interestingly, I thought Josh Curran's been very good for us.
Yeah, Curran
40 tackles.
Curran doesn't have a bad game. A Curran game is 40 tackles and let's say 120 meters, run meters, with probably a try or a try assist or an offload, with a few offloads.
He made, I'll tell you how many. He made a few less than that, actually. He made 95 meters.
All right, that's good enough. 120 meters. That's what I was touching on. That's a Curran game.
That's very good.
With a line break assist or a try assist or the odd try, that's Curran. I would be surprised if he ever has a bad game.
He's been very good for us.
He's Mr. Rock Up every week, Mr. Consistent.
Even
he's a good signing.
Even Kurt Mann's been good for us, I think.
Kurt Mann's, the experience.
Yeah.
The experience helping with you guys. He's got an experience squad this year.
Kurt Mann. 35 tackles. But anyway,
what day's the game at Belmore?
it's a Saturday, 3 p.m. at Belmore.
Probably a good day for you to go.
You know what? If it wasn't Ramadan, if I wasn't fasting, I would be there. I was telling my wife, if it wasn't Ramadan, I would have been there.
It's not like you're eating.
You can't, the screaming, the shouting, the energy, just on a Saturday.
The swearing.
Spot on. So, I mean, that's
who's your 18th man this week?
Sherry.
That's a good one. 18th man. That's a good 18th man
good
to
18th
have.
man.
And who's 19?
Oh, well, Sherry's technically 19.
Can I ask? I should know the rule before. So you get 3 HIAs, you activate the 18th man. There is a possibility you also get the 19th man activated as well for a 4th HIA? I've seen that happen before. Or you get 2 players get HIA and one goes and then it's a report. That's right. If your player gets HIA and the other player's on report or sent off, doesn't your player automatically get activated? 18th and 19th?
No, I think 2 of them, or there has to be 3 HIAs.
Even if one of them's gone on, but doesn't the 18th automatically get activated if one of them's a HIA and the other player's on report?
No, I don't think so.
I better revisit
I'm not sure.
that.
I have to revisit that.
That'd be a good idea. If it isn't, it's probably a reasonable idea for the NRL to do.
Yeah, possibly. Something.
Why should why should a team lose a player from an illegal act and not get it replaced straight away?
Yeah, we're going to have to look into that.
Yep.
But just quickly, 38-0.
Yeah, that was absolutely horrible. I just thought from the get-go, like, all right, they completed their first 6 sets in a row, but there was... Every time they seemed to get the ball, they bobbled it. It's like they couldn't catch. There was no creativity. It was like just get to the 5th or the 6th and kick. But it was always kick it down. What's that flyer's name? Why do I forget his name now? It was always kick it down. Probably the most dangerous attacking player on the field that day. Well, probably he is. Down his throat and let him, repeatedly give him 20, 30-metre kick returns to eventually just slice through and then... You saw the rest of the game. I think he ended up getting a hat-trick or something.
Got a hat-trick. Jack Avrilo got his first try for the Dolphins.
Good on him. He's a good signing.
Very happy for him.
He's going to really excel under Wayne.
Yeah, I think he will.
I thought Herbie Farnworth absolutely killed it.
Unstoppable.
His runs were strong. His defence was good. He looked after Sully.
You guys had nothing.
Their forwards were great. The Dragons just seemed like, we won last week. We'll be all right this week. They just kind of looked at each other. That was a nightmare, but probably at the right time.
I think I'm starting to think that maybe it was the Titans just being extremely bad and not the Dragons.
I think you guys can get the win this week. They got the Cowboys this week. I think the Dragons can bounce back against the Cowboys.
Cowboys have been good though.
They've had 2 wins, 2 not convincing wins. First one was convincing. Sorry, last week's wasn't convincing. They got out of jail for that one. They're away from home now, so
might be a little bit difficult. But look, it's going to take a big effort from the.
Are they missing Lukey now? Are they?
Hayden Lukey? No, I don't think so.
Who got lasered? Somebody lasered one of the players out. My mates play fantasy, so they always look at your team lineup and they just laser your lineup so that they just put the evil on them so they can break a leg or something.
If you want, I can check. Just give me a sec. Just give me a minute. But yeah, so I mean,
it's at Cogger this week. Dragons got another debutant in Jesse Marshke. I think he's 25 now this year or 24. I think he's long overdue for a first grade berth. I think he was probably the New South Wales Cup Player of the Year last year or runner up to Dean Hawkins. Show you how good Dean Hawkins is. But I think he was man of the match in that grand final, Marshke, even though they lost.
He played good. Remember, we watched him in the trials.
His attack is brilliant. He's at hooker, I think, because Little was out with a HIA recovery. I don't want to see him do that many. I would have loved to see him go in the halves and probably Flanagan at hooker. But I know Flanagan's trying to work something out. Well, obviously with Ben Hunt and his son, but I don't think it really changes much if you put Kyle at hook. Kyle actually defends well. I like to see Jesse more attack than defence. I don't want to see him get sapped in defence. He's a big body and all. He handles defence really well. So I hope he absolutely has a whale of a game and, the Dragons can bring home, just do another form reversal and just throw the whole competition.
Look, I just want to see them compete.
Yeah, of course. That was disaster. Because, I don't think, honestly, I still don't think Redcliffe will be crash hot this year. I don't think even
you're right. Against the top teams, they will struggle.
I don't think they'll even make the 8. And I think, I think in the return clash, the Dragons will... I don't think the Dragons will go down 30. I think the Dragons can beat them in the return clash. Yeah, they're an ageing side.
My honest opinion...
I think Canterbury can beat them as well.
I don't think Jack Bird should be at centre.
Oh, that was embarrassing.
Honestly,
they just ran around him.
Yeah, he's too slow. He shouldn't be at centre. That's my honest opinion with the Dragons. I think that is a defensive liability.
I think Kale Iro is available now all of a sudden, so I'd rather just sign up Kale Iro from Cronulla and throw him in the centres and leave Lomax on the wing. Lomax, or maybe throw Lomax back in the centres.
I think
they're the slowest centre partnering in the game, centre wing partnering. See how slow they are?
I mean, he partners... well, according to the team list, he's supposed to be partnering Michele Ravalawa, so...
But they've put him on the... they've swapped him now.
I think they may have swapped him. But I look, regardless, I still think that Jack Bird shouldn't be at centre. And you're right, Halem Lukey is out. But the bad news is that they replace him with Finifu Iaki.
He's a good
player. He's a gun.
Who took the other spot on the bench?
They've got Jack Gazilski.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He was a Dragon at one point as well,
wasn't he? He was a Manly, yeah. He's all right. He goes good. I thought they would have kept him, but they let him go, which I found odd.
Yeah, you know what I find odd is that they're not playing Semi Valame, who they bought from the Raiders.
Gun player.
He's a gun player. Shouldn't be on the. I think he's better than Zach Laybutt, but
Yeah. He's a good player coming through, Zach Labour. I think he plays for Papua New Guinea.
But I still think Sammy Valame is better. In any case, I think your front row and second row is looking pretty good this week.
No Francis Milo is suspended. So Blake Laurie just comes in with Jack DeBellin, and then Viliami Fafita comes back on the bench.
I think he's a gun, Viliami Fafita.
They got a strong team, the Cowboys. It's going to be hard for the Dragons to even beat them at home, but I like to see quite a form reversal. It's just a hard game to play against. They seem like they're on this year. Last year they had a slow start to the season.
Yeah, and I think you know what, Chad Townsend's been a lot better this year.
Last year he was like second year syndrome.
Yeah, I feel like he just couldn't do it, but.
I think hopefully hopefully they get cocky now and they have an off game instead.
Man, how good is Dearden?
Oh, yeah.
I honestly, when he was at the Broncos, I thought this guy is the worst.
He was only 18, 19.
I'm with you, but I thought he was the worst number 6 that we have ever seen since, like...
I don't think it was bad. I think he's just his forwards weren't giving him anything.
I thought he was horrible at the Broncos. He's come to the Cowboys, and
what a player.
Unbelievable.
He took it on the chin. You know, he never backed down week in, week out on that poor Broncos side.
Didn't complain. And
look at him now. Good on him. We tried to sign him.
He's captain.
Yeah, the Dragons tried to sign him. I hope the Cowboys gave him what he's worth. Otherwise, he's silly to remain with him.
I agree with you. And look, he's the future of that club.
He is.
Once Townsend moves on, and Taumalolo is, and they're playing Taumalolo at prop this week as well, which
he'll probably get. They're reducing his time. He might get 40 to 60 minutes.
Nah, he'll be lucky to get 40 minutes. That's what I think.
But he's on $1 million. Like, what happens there?
What do you do?
I'm sure Jason doesn't care as long as they keep signing. As long as they keep playing him.
Yeah, Anyway, I think it was disappointing from the Dragons last week. I think Jack Bird, if he stays there at centre, I think that he's going to get torn to shreds by Murray Taulagi and Zach Labour.
Too quick. Oh.
And especially if he comes up against like
that
Valentine Holmes.
Is a freak.
Yeah, if he comes up against right now as it stands, it's Moses Sully against Valentine Holmes in the centres. But if they swap, Valentine Holmes will absolutely destroy Jack Bird.
I forgot Valentine Holmes is playing. Damn.
Yeah,
he's another rocket.
Yeah.
Dragons got a slow team. Like, honestly, the quickest player in that team's the fullback. And then the second quickest, no word of a lie, was Jacob Little. And he was playing at hooker. I got a funny feeling the second quickest is that Marshke guy playing at hooker as well.
Can I just make a point? Last week's loss by the Dragons was not because of Zach Lomax wanting out.
No, of course not. They were horrible.
So a lot of the Dragons fans are saying, blame it on Zach Lomax.
Stop watching footy.
Yeah. Honestly,
go find some Premier League. Go watch the Premier League. Choose a team that wins every week, like Manchester City. You got nothing to complain about. Please go. Pinning on Zach Lomax.
I don't think it was Zach Lomax's fault.
Winger. It was the winger's fault. Can you believe it? The winger. Where are the forwards?
I thought he tried his heart out, to be honest.
Gee, of course he did.
I think he tried his heart out.
The war was up in his face, but he never backed down.
No. Now, quick tips for this week. I'm going Cowboys by 12 points, only because I think that the Cowboys are on.
That's a fair shout to the Dragons. I'll be honest here, being nice to the Dragons.
But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dragons come back.
I'm with you. Look, I want to tip the Dragons, but you just give them the right shout. I think I'll go the same margin, same side. I mean, I was being fair to the Dragons. Like, there's no way they deserve to get tipped 30. After last week's debacle against the side. I don't think it's going to be crash hot. But the Cowboys are going to be crash hot.
I actually think the Dragons don't have a bad team if they can put it together like they did in the first week.
Forwards were horrible.
But they need to stop dropping the ball. Like, even against the Titans in the first half an hour, they dropped the ball so many times.
And if they're not dropping the ball, they're juggling the ball. Like,
they just got to get that right. You just got to get the basics right. Panthers, Broncos.
Broncos got a few niggles. I think Reynolds is out. Payne Haas is in doubt.
Yeah.
Ezra Mam's in doubt. Have they been named?
Yeah, they have. So their team list, very quickly. So
it's all looking the same.
Haas is named.
Mam named.
Jock Madden's playing at 7. Mam is named.
There you go.
So the only one they're really missing is Reynolds. But even with Reynolds, I would still tip the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm tipping the Panthers. Is that at Penrith Park? Or whatever they call that stadium, Blue Point, or whatever, Blue Bet?
It is at Blue Bet, yeah.
All right, good. Get rid of the gambling. Anyway.
Warriors, Raiders. I'm going Warriors.
Where's this at, in New Zealand?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Warriors.
In Christchurch, actually.
Oh, good. Warriors are due for a win. Even though Canberra side's such a bogey side.
Yeah, it is.
For every away, like even Melbourne, when Melbourne plays them at home.
But you know what? The Warriors, that unbelievable try by Xavier Coates was incredible.
The Warriors were about to get the W. So
the Warriors deserve that W.
Yeah, I'm going the Warriors.
Roosters Rabbitohs, I think it'll be a good game.
For me, that's match of the round.
It is match of the round, I think. Yeah.
Look, I've gone Rabbitohs, expecting them to bounce back. That Dean Hawkins is a confident sort of player. You'll see. He won't be phased playing first grade. I know you like Lachlan, and I think Latrell's going to... Latrell always steps it up in these derbies. I know Roosters are hurting from last week, and that Joseph Manu's an absolute superstar, and he's worth every dollar that he's going to get from rugby union. But I think Souths will bounce back. I can't remember the last time they went 0-3.
So I want to tip the Rabbitohs because I think that these players might finally pull the finger out. But I'm still
the Roosters.
I'm going Roosters by 12.
It's the safe option. I'm just thinking, I could play it the safe option, but I just think Souths will respond this week.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
I really do. West Tigers Sharks, we've already called the Dogs and Dragons games.
Yep. Where's this game at?
So this one is at Leichhardt Oval.
Any outs for the Sharks?
Yeah, Britton Nakora.
Anyone else? Yeah, suspended.
Just Britton Nakora.
What about who's ins and outs for the West Tigers?
So finally, Justin Olam is making his debut for the Tigers.
Good. He'll bash someone.
He's up against Siasifa Talakai.
Yep. Ooh, what a clash.
Yeah. And then that's pretty much as
named.
As named, essentially. This week though, Sullivan's on the bench and
Caesar's starting.
And Cesar, yeah,
with
Lockie
Galvin.
Yeah, Lockie Galvin.
Ooh.
I think it's a good call.
Who's in the forwards for the West Tigers? Can you tell me their starting forward pack?
Yeah, so they've got
Tukamano,
Yuto Kamanu, David Clemmer, Isaiah Papali'i, John Pateman, and Fanua Pole.
I'm gonna go for an upset here. I know I'm not playing the South option. I'm gonna go an upset here. Tigers by 2. It's at Leichhardt. I know.
No,
I know. Cronulla's a classy team.
I've got to go Sharks only because the defense of the Tigers was piss poor. I'm gonna go Sharks by 6 because I personally don't want to see them get
You'd probably
smashed.
go more, but yeah, look, 6 is. I'm gonna go Tigers. Honestly, I think they can.
I think they can too. I think they have.
They don't do it this week, then I won't tip them for a long time.
I think they have the attack.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do think they have the attack. They don't have the defense.
I don't think I'll have them. Yeah, if they don't win this week, Tigers, I won't choose them for a while.
Eels versus Manly at Combank Stadium.
Are is Parramatta going to finally play away from home?
Never. They're like the Broncos.
Well, they did play at Penrith, but it seems like it's their backyard. Yeah, they are. They get all the preference and still can't win a comp. Anyways, yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. So it's at Combank versus Manly. I'm going to go Manly again. It's a tough clash, but I'm going to go Manly. Is Manly missing anyone?
No.
I'm going to go Manly.
Just the Eels missing Bailey Simonson.
He's replaceable.
Yeah, he's being replaced by Blaze Talangi. So, I'm sort of tempted to say I'm Manly because I thought Tolu Kula had a massive game.
I thought their forwards in general had a good game.
No, they did, but just Luke Brooks linking up with Tolu Kula.
That Paseka.
Paseka's a
Is
mad
he eligible
forward.
for State of Origin? If he doesn't name himself, he can, even though he plays for Tonga.
I think he may be eligible.
I think he's
Do you know what I was thinking the other day? Why isn't Viliami Kikau eligible for New South Wales?
Fiji. I think he's a Queenslander.
No, I don't think so.
He was in North Queensland. Plus, I think he plays first junior footy in Fiji. I think.
That
I
might
think
be
so.
problem.
Oh, I don't know. We'll find out.
Do you know who was absolutely unstoppable on the weekend? It was not even funny. Hamali Alakawatu.
Yeah, it was.
He was fantastic.
He should have played Origin the last few
If
years.
he's not Origin, if he's not.
Remember when Kalamatangi got his run finally? Guy killed it. So I like Kawatu.
Oh man, like he's got to at least be on the bench. At the very least on the bench.
100%. Like Crichton, I don't think Angus Crichton will be there this year.
No.
Yeah, where is he? Has he even been playing?
No. That's a good question actually.
Jeez, he's flown under the radar. I know they want to try release him to Union. That Roosters club's a dirty club.
Yeah.
They brainwash their players to go to Union, so no one else
They've
gets
got
them.
no loyalty, but
They
loyalty.
brainwash their players. Go to Union. This is what you're worth. So you don't get. So you're loyal to us, and you don't go to another NRL side.
Stupid.
What a cancer on the NRL.
So Sea Eagles, you're gonna call Sea Eagles?
Yeah, I'm going Sea Eagles.
I'm going Sea Eagles by 12.
That's a good shout.
The-
I'm agreeing you a lot this week. Your margins are...
But you know, the thing is, the Eels have actually played so well the first 2 rounds. Even though they lost to the
kept
Panthers.
getting the ball back against Canterbury like with those lucky deflections. Like they weren't crash hard.
No, I know they weren't crash
Can you
hard.
imagine Canterbury had 50% of the possession?
And then the final game is Knights versus Storm.
Ooh,
Welsh,
that's a cracking game.
Yeah, Welsh and Jerome Hughes are both out.
Is that Newcastle Stadium?
Uh,
Energy Australia.
Yeah, McDonald Jones.
Oh, it's not called Energy Australia anymore. Jeez, I've got to be up to date. I'm going Newcastle on this one. By 8 points. So who's the halves on that? Is it John Pezza? Is Munster? No, Munster's not back for a while.
It's Jonah Pezza and Tyron Wishart at 6 and 7.
Yeah, I'm going. Pezza can do it. I don't think Wishart's going to be enough support for him. Wishart's a handy player. I just don't think he's a leading 6.
Look, I think
Yeah, I'm going. Is Nelson Asafa Solomona back yet?
no.
Yeah, I'm going Newcastle. I'm going to go Newcastle by 18.
I'm gonna go Melbourne.
What a hater.
I'm gonna go
He
Melbourne.
hates the Knights.
I'm gonna go Melbourne by 13 plus.
So you're going the other way.
Yeah.
But they're missing their halves.
I'll tell you what.
Who's Newcastle missing besides what's he called?
They've got Jack Cogger and Tyson Campbell at halves,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's going to be good enough. I think Tyson Campbell is going to shit himself.
But I just think Melbourne's missing. They got Pezzett there. He's a good player.
Bro, they were missing all these players, and yet they still managed to hold
beat the Warriors.
the Panthers to 0 and beat the Warriors.
I think just now they're away from home. It'll catch up with them this week.
I think they're
no
showing
Jerome Hughes.
No, I reckon that the Storm are gonna.
You're about to convince me to revise my margin from 18 to 14 points. Anyways,
you asked an interesting question about the Roosters.
where is Crichton?
Yeah, he's on the bench. He's a 17 on the
So
bench.
he's just flying under the radar.
Yeah.
Unfortunate what happened with him last year. Well, we shouldn't say unfortunate, it's self-inflicted. But
Anyway, with that, we'll give you our tips, some of our thoughts. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have made it to the end of the podcast, please be sure to like the video, subscribe. Dibbo, hope the Dragons do a lot better for you this week.
Definitely.
Hope the Doggies finally get their first win of the season. If you're fasting, hope you have a good iftar. If you're not fasting, have a good night. Enjoy. Take care.